Mic'd up.
All right, welcome to Yankees Coast to Coast, to all three of you out there right now. We really do appreciate that we have enough to play Mahjong tonight.
No, it takes four to play
Mahjong quorum.
It takes four to play Mahjong. We only have three, it's one listener.
Probably. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is fun. We do enjoy it.
Whoa,
Yankees are playing right now.
Guy.
Oh, that's much better. You can see Mike's nostrils. Mike does his best Kramer imitation. Hello.
Well, I feel bad. We haven't had him on the show in a while.
Oh, so yeah, we got to put him on the show. He's very hurt. He doesn't call me anymore. He's very mad at me about something. I don't know. He doesn't call. He doesn't write.
I'm not going to touch that one, just so you know. About what call you anymore, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Anyway, you like my shirt? Hey, how about this? Is this throwback to another time or what?
Oh, look at that! That looks a lot like Wells's mustache.
Yeah, it is what it is. I think he needs to grow one like that now that they're allowed to do those things.
Well, Wells has a mustache.
Yeah, but it's kind of like he's not. He doesn't really go. In fact, I'm surprised. He's a big beard guy in the off season. I'm surprised that he's staying within the rule set, the original rules. But anyway, nice to see. Anyway, have you been? Everything good?
Everything's good. Weather here has been not as bad as there, but not what it's supposed to be here. It got rained on playing golf today.
Oh, terrible. Not good. Rain. That this time of year is a little late in the year for rain there.
I know it wasn't really supposed to. And you will be happy to know that I finally did get some hits with the aluminum bat. I got 3 hits on Sunday. We were losing. Listen to this one. We were losing 11-1 in the second inning. We won 20-12.
Oh, it's a real pitcher's duel. I love it. Love a well-played game. How many errors?
No, it wasn't bad pitching on our part. DA got hit around for 2 innings, and that's how they scored all the runs. We didn't really we made, I think, 1 error. Not even me on that error. And then Gimello came in and shut him down. And we ended up going berserk. I ran a double into a triple into a double. You'd be happy to know.
Well, hit a ball down the blazing speed that's working for you.
Yeah, it's blazing. But, I had 4 RBIs, scored a couple of runs. That was pretty good.
And how did Enrico Suave do? Is he okay?
He didn't play yet. He's just got back from
still in Italy.
He'll be playing next weekend. We don't play this weekend for Easter holiday.
What is that from? Is there a
what'd you say?
I want to see if you can remember from a great film that we love more than many.
What is
Italy? Welcome to Italy, gentlemen. What is that?
Welcome to Italy, gentlemen.
Welcome to Italy.
Stripes.
Bingo. And who said it? Who had the great line?
The bestest big toe. Sergeant Holka.
Sergeant Holka.
One
of the great leaders of modern men.
He is definitely, him and Lloyd. I don't know who's a better leader.
Well, the sad thing about it is, Lloyd is definitely a better leader. But the sad thing is, he died like an hour after that movie was made. It's really
it was a little bit. He was around a little while.
Very soon after. I mean, it was not like it wasn't that he was a young man, but he certainly wasn't old. But it's too bad. Great character actor. Can't remember the name, but I do love him, and I see him in a lot of. You see him in a lot of westerns and Bonanza episodes, if you want.
I think he would have had a career. The guy that plays the drill sergeant in in a lot of movies. Even was in what's the name of the movie in outer space with the green people and the pals. That guy,
Jesus.
Full Metal Jacket drill sergeant guy who was a real drill.
I love that. I love that film.
Yeah, that guy. He died too, but he was a drill sergeant like everything in its mother except for stripes. But I think Hulk could have had a career in stripes. But who knows?
Anyway, great to have you. Let's talk baseball, man. So Yanks are okay. If you like no starting pitching other than Fried, and every now and again, I'm glad they got. I'm very, very happy they got Schmitty back, which is a needed thing. Though we got bad news today about the pitcher made of glass Mr. Heel, who we should have known would not heal fast. Oh, doctor, who said that?
Unbelievable. What's interesting is, his type of injury is, not one that's going to heal quickly. It's the same one that Cole had, right? And we'll see what happens.
No.
What
It's the
what is
same one that
Schmidt?
what's his name had last year. Uh,
Schmidt?
that Schmidt had last year.
Okay, so Schmidt had. So we'll see what
He has a
happens.
shoulder. His is a shoulder problem.
Yeah, it's gonna
No, it's
be.
not shoulder. It's his lat, the lat, and
Yeah,
that's the
it's
problem.
not good. Um, like I said at the beginning of the year, when we were talking about the season, the guy pitched, you know, so many innings last year. He wasn't on an innings limit, which I agreed with. But they also said when he doesn't have command or his mechanics are off, that's when they're going to get concerned. And quite frankly, he didn't have his command most of the last third of the season, including into the playoffs. So
Yeah.
they didn't do what they said they were going to do, which was check him out and see what's going on. They just let him keep going because he was so good in the first half. But the last third of the season, he really was just not hitting the strike zone. So we'll see what happens. And then, as with most Yankee pitchers, right, they have a tendency to not throw enough strikes. Even Schmidt last night didn't throw that many strikes, but it was his first game back. We'll give him a little bit of a break. But Rodon doesn't throw strikes like he should be throwing them. Hill didn't throw them last year.
Oh God.
Certainly not going to get him out of Stroman, who, one, he's on the IL, but was a Mr. Nibble. So we'll see what happens from what's going on, with these pitchers. And then today, I know you don't like to talk about the game, but, Warren threw 52 pitches and only 30 were strikes. But, it's not like they're bringing in guys, even the bullpen guys. Like you said, you're upset that Williams is walking so many guys, and I'm more upset that Williams is allowing hits because he always walks guys. But, you got to throw strikes. It's ridiculous. It just bothers the hell out of me.
Yeah, it's interesting. They're they've got to get this. The biggest reason you need you need good starting more than for any reason, really more than any reason, associated with their ERA, how many strikeouts, how many walks. You need them to eat innings because ultimately that's really, I have to say that's the most important thing, especially for the dynamic of this team, because they've got a really good pen, but they've also got guys that'll break down. And we've got a history of that here with some of these clowns. And you have to worry that if they don't get 5.5 to 6 innings a game from these starters, then they're always going to be they're always going to be hurting. They're going to be hurting come August. And I've been saying that all along. I love this pen. I like a lot of things. I think I actually think Cruz may be the steal of the off season for anybody. He may be the best pickup anybody's made. That he may end up being the closer of the future, which is interesting to see if they happen to lose. What's his name? Question is he have the head for it? But he certainly has the splitter is out of control. Good. Did you see it, Lester? Did you see how it moves? The way his pitch moves.
The guy is a strikeout machine when he throws strikes. That's the basic.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Can he throw them strikes? And that's why you've got to let him work with Blake, find find the zone. And they just have him throwing the splitter like twice.
But Blake, I don't think Blake is going to help. I mean, he helps bullpen guys find the strike zone, so that's good. But these guys are throwing so many pitches; it's just driving me bananas.
There's no question. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's just bananas.
Yeah. But our topic today, you want to talk a little bit about Mr. Dominguez, who I said before, just in our pre-show, I'm liking the way he's playing. I'd like to see a little bit. I thought he had a nice moment the other night as a right-handed hitter, but for the most part, he's a zero when he's batting right-handed, and that's a little upsetting. Because this whole team seems to be terrible against left-handers. I got lucky yesterday because, again, Judge hit a bomb at the right time, and the bullpen held the line. But they certainly didn't get a lot of help from their lefties from their lefty hitters yesterday. Um, so it'll be interesting to see.
Well, obviously, me, I like to do my research.
Okay,
And
go ahead.
so I started looking at his stats and his splits, righties versus lefties. And let's just, for 23, 24, and 25 at the major league level, he hasn't had very many plate appearances, 33 and 23, 24, he had 67. And so far going into today, he had 62. And, last year he was horrendous at the majors. He had a 179 average, but 258 in 23 and 259 so far this year. But his on-base percentage is, 303, 313, and 355 so far this year, which is when we talked the other day about him getting his batting average up 50 points and his on-base percentage would be near 350. He did exactly what we talked about last week when he was hitting 200. Got his batting average up to 259, so his on-base went up to 355, and his slugging is at 407. Now, he had a 677 slugging when he first came up in 23. But you know what? He's doing well. He's doing fine. There's nothing wrong.
I'll take a 750 to 780 OBS from this guy. I mean,
right. I would take it. It's just an odd way that they're getting it. And the thing that's so interesting about it to me is his strikeout rate is higher this year than it has been in the previous two stints at the major league level.
How many times has he struck out? How many times has he struck out right-handed?
Well, I can tell you that in a second.
I would say he struck out almost every time he hits.
Versus lefties so far, he has struck out 7 times in 26 plate appearances. That's versus lefties. Against righties, he struck out 8 times in 32 plate appearances. Yeah. So he's striking 25% of the time, 25% of the time as a left-handed hitter, and close to 26, 27%. Well, actually, a little bit higher than that as a right-handed hitter. He's walking more as a right-handed hitter as well. So that's really interesting. And he's 2 for 21 as a righty, as opposed to 12 for 30 as a lefty. That's a 400 batting average as a left-handed hitter, as opposed to 095. The thing that's scary to me, and this is true right-handed and left-handed, and true of more than just Dominguez. It's yes, none of us like the strikeout rate, but what I don't like about the Yankee strikeouts are the swings are so big.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they need to. I'm not saying that they need to, check swing and poke the ball to the opposite field. But why are they swinging from their heels every single swing? It's like it doesn't matter if you get fooled. You gotta try and make contact. Change your swing when you get fooled. These guys aren't even doing that. I realize they have split seconds to make these decisions, and I realize they're better hitters than I have ever dreamed of being, much less that I ever was. But I don't like the fact that they constantly swing big. And the guys that swing the biggest that are bothering me are Volpe, who's, again, consistently lets his ass get into the third base dugout and his hips open up way early. And that should be something that should be fixable. Dominguez, right-handed and left-handed, he just swings monster. And then the other guy that swings a monster swing and is not hitting is at all is Bellinger. If I have to listen to David Cohn say, his analytics are good because his bat speed's good. I have news for you. My bat speed could be really good too, because I'm not trying to hit the ball. I'm just trying to swing it as hard as I can. You need to make contact. And Bellinger is just swinging so hard. I don't understand it whatsoever. And that's the part that bothers me the most, is that these guys swing so hard every single time. And there doesn't seem to be any modulation or thought process into trying to make a little bit more contact. Yeah. And that's what bothers me. Especially, if it's Stanton, okay, to a certain extent, if it's Judge, okay, because they're not exactly singles hitters, although Judge is hitting over 400. But, Jazz as well. He went on that streak when they were on the homestand, on the road trip in Detroit. He wasn't making contact at all. He started making contact when they came back home, but his swings were also looking awful. So I don't understand the big swings. That surprised me.
The thing that I'm liking about him, the fielding has been excellent. That play he made last night did save the game.
Yes.
That was a beautiful, beautiful play. It's nice to have an outfielder who
Bellinger? Bellinger is a stud fielder.
It's a beautiful thing to watch. But looking at his Statcast numbers, and you know, not great stuff. I mean, there's things that are signs that we heard about. Part of the reason the Yankees didn't go from a couple of years ago was that they said his bat speed was down. His bat speed is 35%. That's 71 miles an hour. I mean, that's really kind of, well, no, it's not 70. I don't know. It's 71, whatever it is, but it's 35%.
71 percentile, which is high in the league.
So, so you got that. He's not. His K rate is higher than it should be. His barrel up. He's not barreling up as much as
he's not making contact.
He's not making contact. So
even with a torpedo bat, it's not going to make a damn bit of difference.
Maybe it's not helping, So, but anyway, there are signs of problems there.
And his barrel rate so far this year is 7.7%, which is scary because it's higher than his 6.3% last year. So that's kind of scary.
So you got to wonder so he's had this food thing. He seems to have a back problem too that he's nursing. Are we going to hear about this in 2 weeks? Are we going to get are we going to get an IL stint? Because that's the thing. The worries me is that he's hurt and he's not talking about it very much. And this is the problem. He's hurt. If he's hurt, then we really got a problem. That's going to suck losing him. That's an important thing.
I mean, would they have been better off shutting him down for 2 weeks right now? They could have brought up, what I'm going to say and who I'm going to say. They could have brought up Pereira, right-handed bat, and, let him get into the lineup once in a while Bellinger sat. But they didn't do that. So, they keep letting him play. And we're also starting to see the warts on our friend Trent Grisham because, he's not an everyday player. And he's a streaky guy even when he was an everyday player for all the various teams that he played on for all these years. And, he's coming back down to earth. But getting back to our friend Jason Dominguez, even in the minors, his splits were interesting. He was never really good against right-handers, but he is against left-handers, he's getting worse. And that's the challenge that's going on is Jason Dominguez's splits in the minor leagues even. In 2024, his batting average as a right-handed hitter was 213, and left-handed was 341. In 23, which was a year he had 500 at bats or plate appearances, he did hit 252 right-handed and 269 left-handed. So he was better then. And in 2022, he was at 246 and 282. And last year, he went backwards. He was at 213 as a right-handed hitter and 341 as a left-handed hitter. So, and then you get to the majors. In 24, he was 111. And this year, he's at 095. So, or 083 if you count his at-bats today. So it's just, he's going backwards as a right-handed hitter, and I don't know what the reasoning for that is. I don't think that's the benching of him because he is playing almost every day now. They didn't bench him against the lefty yesterday. Well, they sat Cabrera and let Peraza play, who had a couple of hits. I don't know. What's going on with him right-handed that he's so much worse and getting worse every season. You see a difference in his swing. I was watching him closely since you said that, and I don't see that much of a difference in his swing. What I see is a difference in his hips opening. And it obviously when making less contact, they all look like they're overswinging when they make less contact. So I just don't understand. Again, it comes back to that same mishigas with regard to the overswinging. And then defensively, we can talk about his defense. I think he's played well defensively. I'd say he's been slightly above average defensively. He had that great game a couple of games ago in Detroit, right? Or is that at home? He had a great game where he had 7 putouts and 2 of the catches were really nice catches. And then they still took him out defensively in that game, but that was after his contact lens got knocked out by his helmet after he hit the double, which was right-handed, by the way. He hit the double for 3 runs when he hit the double down the left field line. And And then yesterday they didn't take him out because they had Judge at DH, so they didn't really have a defender to put in when they already had Grisham and Bellinger in the defensive alignment. But his defense hasn't been a problem. I don't have a problem with him taking Dominguez out for defense. And I think yesterday, obviously, he had no choice but to leave him in, and I think that's a good thing. And they had the excuse of his contact lens issue on the game before that when he had the really good game defensively and offensively. It doesn't bother me so much because Grisham is that good of an outfielder. Judge is that good of an outfielder, and Bellinger is that good of an outfielder. It's not like you're sitting him down and putting Kramer out in the outfield.
Yeah.
But the right-handed hitting has me really worried, especially since the Yankees are having so much trouble against left-handed pitching. And the easiest answer when you have troubles against left-handed pitching is to get different right-handed hitters in the lineup, and the Yankees just don't have them. And Pablo Reyes is not the answer. I think he's just sitting on the team until DJ comes back at this point. I think that they're not going to do anything until DJ comes back, and he's your right-handed hitter they're going to use. What do you think?
Well, you think DJ's going to be your guy.
It's not my guy. I hate it. I hate the idea of it, but I think that's what the Yankees are doing.
I'm wondering, what are they going to say about first of all, when are we going to get? Let's talk about this. When are we going to get Stanton back? I mean, that to me would really be that's the right-handed bat that I'd like to see right now. However, then it means that it's sort of the end of Rice as we know him. Though Rice is also beginning to come down to earth a little bit.
Well, he's the guy that sat yesterday against the left-handed pitching, not Dominguez.
Yeah. So they don't have faith against him against lefties. He does not look good against lefties right now. Can you look at those numbers? How does he look against lefties?
Try and get them up on the screen for us. Ben Rice. But yeah, I mean, Rice hasn't looked bad against lefties. He hasn't looked as bad as Dominguez against lefties, and Dominguez is batting right-handed. So I don't know. So as lefty versus lefty, God, I hate the freaking pop-ups. Lefty versus lefty so far this season, Rice has got 23 plate appearances, 22 at bats. He's got 4 hits, so he's hitting 182. His on base is only 267. Oh, sorry. His on base is 217, and his slugging is 455. So it's better than Dominguez. Not that that's really much of a hurdle. Whereas his splits against righties are out of control. Right. So far this year, he's hitting 333 against them. Why is it different when I do this? He's hitting 333 against the right-handed pitchers with 1203 slugging as opposed to 654. So 1203 slugging is pretty damn good, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think he's.
He's quite a player. I was very happy about bringing it up early. I was really proud of myself for calling that.
Don't hurt yourself patting yourself on the back. You'll end up.
I liked him. Actually, I was hoping for him at the end, like all off season, because I kept saying it's how nice it would be to have a really good, young first baseman.
Well, Gold. You can't argue with Goldschmidt.
I love Goldschmidt, but Goldschmidt has been great. The irony is that Goldschmidt. What I love about Goldschmidt, I'll tell you what I like about Goldschmidt. He doesn't swing out of his shoes every time.
Yep.
He has 1 home run. Ironically, the first bat of the year.
Right.
He hit the bomb, and he hasn't hit one since. And I love that about him. I think that's been great. I think his
on base is at 400. His slugging's at 470.
I mean, what could you ask? And I saw he did something the other day that I loved. Maybe it was last night, where he took a single to right field. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, God, how nice, how rare.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see him swing as compared to the other guys that we talk about. He does not look like he overswings. And I don't think it's just because he's batting leadoff and he's changed. I think that's just the way he is. He does remind me a lot of more powerful, not necessarily home run wise, obviously, but a more powerful DJ when DJ came over. He was just driving the ball the opposite way, and that's all he cared about doing. Drive the ball the opposite way, drive the ball the opposite way. And that works. And so far this season, he's the only one that's doing it. Volpe does it every once in a while, I got to say. He does seem to try and drive the ball right field, but I don't know if it's by design or by luck, because every time you see him swing, I don't know what it is about that left hip. What is he trying to, present himself to the pitcher in an impressive manner so that like he would do like the peacock with the feathers. I don't know what the situation is with that and why he does.
But what listen, all of this stuff, you never. I have to talk about something. All right, I get it. I know you have a thing about the way he swings. There's no question. Volpe had a huge hit yesterday. I mean, it was beautiful. Love when he makes contact. I love it. He has a hard. He makes hard contact. Let's look at that real briefly here.
Well, that's what I don't understand. Is it was a whole different swing.
His barrel, he's 50. Look at his barrel percentage. He makes contact. He squares up better than he has before.
The hard hit percentage is how many times he makes contact. It's not versus how many times he swings. Yeah. It's contact on the bat, and that's my biggest issue with him. Is I feel like he has the other swing in his system, and it works for him, and he gets away from it. That's my issue with Volpe, is that he clearly can do it, and he chooses not to, or he forgets not to.
I just wonder when he's just going to become comfortable with who he is, like his game. Like he doesn't seem to know what he wants his game to be offensive.
Just let him hit 260, please. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking him to hit 340. I'm not asking him to hit 300. I'd like him to hit 260, not 217. That's what I want to see from the guy. I don't get it. Just like with Dominguez, we said, if he can get up to 250, his on base will be 350. Well, Volpe can get up to 250, his on base is going to be 360. I mean, the guy's hitting under 220. There's no reason. Yes, he's got a 789 OPS. Whoop-de-doo. I don't mind him. And Chisholm with his 743 OPS with his 176 batting average. It doesn't cut it for me. Not to mention yesterday, I didn't understand the other thing with both of those guys, and I don't know if it's on them or not. And Peraza, there was no reason that they weren't running yesterday. I mean, they were up 3-1 and they didn't run, and they ran into a double play.
Bad. 2 outs. He's on. Peraza walks. 2 outs. Why the hell? And then the next guy comes up, hits a beautiful double. Would have scored the run, or a single would have scored the run right there. What the hell? This is what I don't. Goldschmidt. Now I get it. Goldschmidt swung on the second.
Well, Peraza, on that at bat, didn't Peraza ground out into a force out, and Jazz got forced at second, or somebody got forced at second, and they weren't.
No, it was a different. That might have happened, but that wasn't the about.
Different.
Late in the game, 2 outs. Peraza's up.
And they were up 3-1, and that's what I understand. They can't even say they were going to run out of the inning, and they needed to score the runs, and they were winning the game. Last night,
Paulie said it. He said, He said, what? I'd like the Yankees to run. What do you think, guys? First contact, first
movement. He said first movement. He's got to go, and
he doesn't move. I'm like, what the hell? And then the next at bat, the next pitch, Goldie's beautiful single right over the second baseman's head. Perfect hit and run situation. He's on third, but if they had stolen earlier, then he scored, and that's an insurance run they kind of needed. This is the stuff that they don't do that I don't understand.
There's really nobody on that team that you can consistently do a hit and run with, because they don't make enough contact. I mean, you can't do it with Volpe as much as you should be able to. You can't do it with Chisholm. You could possibly do it with Judge, but why would you put a guy in motion with Judge up?
They won't
you can't do it with Bellinger. The only guy you can do it with is Goldschmidt.
Yeah, and that's the play. So right there, steal the bag, or the second would have been a the second on the first pitch, steal the bag. They don't do it. Second pitch, hit and run, and then he does exactly what a hit and run is you're supposed to do. Right to right field over the second baseman's head. Beautiful run. Guy's on third base. Now the problem with that is you don't usually do that with 2 outs. Doesn't help you so much because then you have second, then you get a single, you have first and third with 2 outs.
What's funny to me, with me with 2 outs, when the batter gets 2 strikes, why not run and give your batter a new at bat? You either have a man on second,
lead off batter. Bingo.
Yeah, that just doesn't make any sense.
All right. So we are beyond our
we are cranky. We are cranky today. We are cranky today, and Adam's not even watching the game, and he's cranky. So I'm watching the
losing now. Oh, they're losing 3-1. God, mother of Jesus.
Well, Yarborough got out of the second inning and then decided to allow.
Play so badly against the Rays. Why do they play so badly?
Yarborough allowed a 2-run homer in the third inning, and that's what did them in.
There it is. Okay, my friend, have a nice one. I'm gonna go listen to my son yell and scream at the TV. It's always fun. He's home for Easter. All right. So
good luck in prison.
Let's try to do like a midweek. Let's do like not a midweek, but like an off time. Maybe over the weekend, something fun happens. Let's get on and talk about it. Okay? Maybe a good game.
That's the thing. They aren't teams. They are not a fun team. Oh, by the way, Oswaldo Cabrera has his second hit of the day. The score has changed. Okay. I'll speak to you later. Bye-bye.
Talk to you later, buddy. Bye-bye.